This is the digital channel of the General Overseas Service of All India Radio. I am Manoj Mainkar, and in the next half hour, I'll bring to you news updates from India and around the world, awareness videos on coronavirus by Government of India, and a lot more. We'll begin with the news updates.
This is the General Overseas Service of All India Radio. Namaskar, the news snippets. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the nation through his Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio Network. Prime Minister, in the 68th edition of Mann Ki Baat, said, as the festival season has started in the country, we should remember that there is a strong correlation between our festivals and the environment. Barna, tribal festival, and Onam are being celebrated all over the country. People should exercise caution during the celebrations. Mr. Modi said most of our festivals are also connected to farming. Our farmers have rendered yeoman services during the pandemic. 7% more area has been brought under cultivation during this Kharif season. He thanked the farmers and said farmers kept up their spirits during the difficult phase. Prime Minister said toys not only entertain but teach. He called for rejuvenation of India's toy industry. This will lead to employment and income generation. The global toy industry is worth $7 billion. India's share in the toy industry should increase. Toys should bring out the creativity in children. Prime Minister called upon startups to team up with toys. The Prime Minister said Atmanirbhar Bharat needs Atma Vishwas. Indians have the innate ability to innovate. He hailed the development of thousands of new apps by Indian youth during the Innovation Challenge competition. He mentioned certain apps that have huge potential. These will help Make in India become a success. Prime Minister said that September is observed as the Nutrition Month. It is an important aspect of our education. Nutritious food is an important aspect of our system. Efforts are on to have a nutrition card like report card. Our country's food is seasonal, which is very unique. It provides wholesome food throughout the year with seasonal specialities. During the radio address, Prime Minister recounted the important role of the canine squads of the Indian Armed Forces. They play a very important role in checking explosive devices and also during natural disasters. These squads have saved innumerable human lives. The Indian Armed Forces have inducted many Indian breeds in their canine squads. Teaching is one of the most important professions of the country. Prime Minister appreciated the role of India's teachers during the COVID-19 pandemic. He said they quickly adapted to the new online teaching mode and ensured that students did not miss out on their studies. When we celebrate Teachers' Day on 5th September, we should proudly recall the services of India's teachers. Prime Minister said that though the coronavirus situation in the country is much better now, we still need to remain vigilant. We all should take care of our health, wash our hands frequently, use face masks and maintain 2 meters social distancing. This is the only way to keep COVID-19 far away from us. Unlock 4 will start from 1st September. All economic, social, sports, religious and political activities will be allowed in non-containment zones with maximum 100 persons from 21st September. Metro rail services would also start in a graded manner with safety protocols from 7th September. States cannot impose restrictions outside containment zones. From 21st September, students of classes 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th can go to schools in non-containment zones, only for taking guidance from teachers after written consent from their parents. Online classes have been encouraged. 27,13,933 people have recovered from COVID-19 in the country. In the past 24 hours, 64,935 recoveries were reported. Recovery rate is 76.61%. 10,55,027 tests were conducted in the country for coronavirus in the last 24 hours. And that is the end of the news snippets. This is the General Overseas Service of All India Radio. We now bring you a special film-based program from our archives.
Watching Ranbir Kapoor in an advertisement for a soft drink, I was struck the other day by an odd coincidence. One generally does not like commercial breaks, and more so when I was watching an old classic on a television channel. But what struck me was that I was watching a film which starred Indian cinema's greatest showman Raj Kapoor with his elder son Randhir in Dharam Karam. Ranbir is the son of Rishi Kapoor, son of Raj Kapoor, whose full name was Ranbir Raj Kapoor. I had gone through a similar experience earlier when the channel telecast Kal Aaj Aur Kal, which starred Prithviraj Kapoor besides Raj and Randhir. Perhaps no other family in Bollywood, or for that matter any other film industry in the world, can claim to be so large with so many generations pursuing the same profession because of an abiding love for cinema. The Kapoor family is generally referred to as the family with up to 4 generations in the film industry, going back to Prithviraj Kapoor and his sons Ranbir Raj RK, Shamsher Raj Shammi and Balbir Raj Shashi. Their children Randhir, Rishi, Rajiv, Karan, Kunal and Sanjana, and then their progeny Karishma, Kareena and Ranbir. Raj's brother married film actresses Geeta Bali and Jennifer Kendall respectively, as did his sons Randhir Babita, whose father Hari Shivdasani was also an actor, and Rishi, who married Neetu Singh. His brothers-in-law Premnath and Rajendranath were also in films. Now the family has addition of Saif Ali Khan and his mother Sharmila Tagore after his marriage with Kareena. And few know that Surinder Kapoor, father of Bonnie, married to Sridevi, Anil and Sanjay, the grandfather of Arjun and Sonam, was a cousin of Prithviraj, or the fact that Prithviraj's father, Dewan Biseshwarnath, had done a cameo role in grandson Raj Kapoor's Avara, which became the trendsetter for all early films from RK. Prithviraj, who died in 1972, was awarded the highest national award in cinema, the Dadasaheb Phalke Award, in 1971. His son Raj, who had accepted the award on his late father's behalf a few months after his parents had died, received the same award in 1988. But the films he produced, directed or acted in during his lifetime is monumental, considering the fact that he first appeared as a hero at the age of 23, apart from a short role when he was just 11. He was an actor, director and producer. The veteran was born as Ranbir Raj Kapoor to Prithviraj and Rama Kapoor on December 14, 1924 in the small town Samandru in Peshawar, now in Pakistan. He started schooling in Peshawar, and when his family moved to Bombay in 1929, he continued his education in Calcutta and Bombay's Antonia D'Souza High School. He did not complete his schooling but went forth with his first love, films. His father Prithviraj Kapoor was a famous actor in stage as well as in films, who established his own travelling theatre company, the Prithvi Theatres, in 1944. Raj Kapoor's debut as an actor was when he was just 11 years old in the film Inqilab 1935, when he dabbled with all the technical aspects in theatre, as well as he worked in some of the plays such as Diwar and Pathan produced by Prithvi. He worked for Bombay Talkies for some time and became a clapper boy cum assistant to director Kedar Sharma. Kedar, who was often irritated by this clapper boy who would go to a mirror every time he was free to comb his hair, gave Raj Kapoor his first break as a lead actor in his film Neel Kamal 1947 opposite Madhubala. There followed a number of inconsequential films, but his heart was set on becoming a filmmaker in his own right. In 1948, at the age of 24, he became the youngest film director of his time when he set up his own studio. RK Films had made his first feature film Aag, starring himself and Nargis. His next film Barsat 1949 was a passionate romantic theme again, with Nargis was a runaway success. Nargis and Raj duo made a popular lead pair and went on to draw huge crowds. Then followed Avara 1951, a socio-musical romance revolved around the lives of an innocent vagabond, which was simultaneously released in Russia as Bradyaga. The film was a huge success both in India and abroad and could be classified as his greatest hit. Its title song is still popular both in India and the countries of the former Soviet Union. In 1946, at the age of 22, Raj Kapoor married Krishna, his father's first cousin. Krishna was a perfect match for him. The naive lady, who was only 16 when she got married, literally grew with him. She was later known for the perfect parties she hosted for his colleagues and associates. They had 3 sons and 2 daughters, Randhir, Ritu, Rishi, Reema and Rajiv. His sons followed his footsteps and turned into direction and acting. The 50s saw Raj establish himself as a producer-director of great caliber as well as a top actor along with his fellow contemporaries Dilip Kumar and Dev Anand. For more than 15 years, he remained an evergreen hero of Hindi films. It was Mehboob's Andaz 1949 that initiated his rise as a top star, and then his own films stabilized the process. Avara was followed by Shri 420 in 1955, about an innocent villager who gets corrupted when he comes to the city to make a living. Anadi 1959, a story on similar lines of a naive simple hero used by a cruel and corrupt society. Jis Desh Mein Ganga Behti Hai 1960 and Sangam 1964. His maturity as a filmmaker can be seen from the dream sequence in the film Avara as early as 1951, which is among the best dream sequences in Indian cinema. The sequence begins with him turning a criminal on earth, trying to save himself from dragons in hell, and finally reaching heaven with the heroine welcoming him with the song Ghar Aaya Mera Pardesi. The choreography by Simki and music by Shankar Jaikishan on Shailendra's lyrics played a major role in highlighting the importance of the message in this sequence. Early in his films, he adopted a Charlie Chaplinesque style which has never failed to touch the sentimental chord in the viewer. And he retained this till his film Mera Naam Joker. Chori Chori and Jaagte Raho 1956 were his last 2 films with Nargis as his own lead. This lead pair acted together in 16 films, including 6 of his own productions. These included the 1953 film where Raj actually had the singer Mukesh, whom he described as his voice on screen while singing the song Choti Si Ye Zindagani Re. In 1964, Raj made the film Sangam, which was his second film with Vaijayanti Mala, the first being Nazrana. This film became a trendsetter and not only proved to be a major hit, but also revealed some rare qualities in the filmmaker who later came to be known as the showman. At a time when the Central Board of Film Certification, then called the Central Board of Film Censors, was strict about showing sensuality in films, Raj proved in film after film, perhaps beginning with Jis Desh Mein Ganga Behti Hai, that he could show sensuality in a manner that did not appear offensive. Apart from this, his films had all the ingredients to make them hits. They had a catchy story with a moralistic or patriotic tone, excellent portrayals, the right amount of emotions, a little bit of comedy, and most importantly, top-notch music. In fact, his ear for good music is related to the fact that he heard a tune when he visited Russia with Aag, used it as the background score in 3 or 4 films including Sangam, and then as a song in his magnum opus Mera Naam Joker in 1970, Jaane Kahan Gaye Wo Din. Interestingly, one of the most popular scenes in Indian cinema is a song from an earlier Raj Kapoor film. A Chaplinesque tramp with holes in his shoes, 2 short pants and a slightly goofy hat skips down a country road and sings Mera Joota Hai Japani, Ye Patloon Englistani, Sar Pe Lal Topi Rusi, Phir Bhi Dil Hai Hindustani. Similarly, it is interesting to note that the Shri 420 song Pyar Hua Ikrar Hua, sung by Lata Mangeshkar and Manna De and picturized on Raj and Nargis, which has the line Phir Bhi Rahengi Nishaniya, which shows Nargis pointing to 3 children in raincoats, few knowing that the children were Randhir, Rishi and Ritu. His magnum opus and most ambitious project, Mera Naam Joker, about the life of a joker in a circus who faced trials and tribulations even as he made others laugh, took 6 years to complete and was more than 5 hours long. But though it was brilliant in parts, the film failed at the box office and left Raj a very dejected man. However, he was a fighter and came back 3 years later with another trendsetter, Bobby 1973, a teenage love story introducing Dimple Kapadia and his second son Rishi in the romantic lead, which was a phenomenal success. It once again proved that Raj's innate sense of music was very deep, as every song of that film is a hit even today. With Bobby, he began to portray his heroines more sensually in his films. He continued the trend in films like Satyam Shivam Sundaram 1978, starring Zeenat Aman, and Ram Teri Ganga Maili 1985. In between, he made Prem Rog 1982, taking up a widow's cause and encouraging remarriage among them. His last film, completed after his death with shooting in Pakistan by sons Randhir and Rishi, was Hina, an Indo-Pak love story. He acted in more than 65 films and directed 10, including 4 in which he did not act. Though 2 had Rishi, 1 had his brother Shashi, and the 4th starred his youngest son Rajiv along with brother Shammi. He produced 18 films, of which 5 did not have him as actor but starred members of the Kapoor clan. Among some of his other memorable films as actor or filmmaker were Barsat, Jaagte Raho, Chori Chori, Phir Subah Hogi, Parwarish, Kanhaiya, Char Din Char Raatein, Do Jasoos, Anadi, Chhaliya and Teesri Kasam. Raj Kapoor's last appearance was in Vakil Babu 1982. His last ever acting role was a minor role in a 1984 British made-for-television film, Kim. Kapoor's films identified with the common man and appealed to all sections of the society. Some of his films had a patriotic feel about them. His heroes were mostly pure at heart people who could retain their innocence even in adverse circumstances. His films also tended to send out oblique messages. If Awara showed the conflict of the good and the bad in every human being, Jaagte Raho was among the first to expose the hypocrisy in middle-class society. Jis Desh Mein Ganga Behti Hai was based on Jayaprakash Narayan's movement to make dacoits surrender arms. Prem Rog dealt with widow remarriage. Aag and Satyam Shivam Sundaram sought to ask whether beauty means physical looks or a pure nature. Kal Aaj or Kal was about generational gap. Ram Teri Ganga Maili attempted to mirror the situation of women in the country, and Hina attempted to show love transcends man-made borders. Raj won many awards during his lifetime. Apart from a number of Filmfare Awards, he won the Grand Prix Award 1957, Padma Bhushan 1971 and Dadasaheb Phalke Award 1987 for lifetime commitment to Indian cinema. In fact, it was during the presentation ceremony of the Dadasaheb Phalke Award on 2nd May 1988 that he got a bad asthmatic attack, forcing then President R. Venkataraman to come down from the dais to give him the award, after which Raj was rushed to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences. The fighter that he was, he fought his sickness for a whole month but breathed his last on 2nd June, aged 63. Perhaps one message that Raj left after his death remains a favorite even today. Jeena yahan, marna yahan, iske siva jana kahan.
You were listening to a special film-based program from our archives. This program came to you from the General Overseas Service of All India Radio.
While we face the challenge of the COVID pandemic, we have to be sensitive to the stress and anxiety faced by many of us. और जब मैं ये स्ट्रेस और एंजाइटी की बात कर रही हूँ जो डिप्रेशन भी बन सकता है, it is across ages, it is across professions, it's across regions.
Initially, when I heard of coronavirus, I did not think of the magnitude to which it will have impact on us until we actually saw cases coming up.
और वर्ली कोलेवाड़ा ये फर्स्ट कंटेनमेंट जोन था, डिक्लेयर किया कोई बाहर नहीं जा सकता। अरे बाप रे, एकदम मुश्किल हो गया।
हम धारावी में रहते और पापा मेरे सिक्योरिटी सुपरवाइजर है। सो फाइनेंशियल स्टेटस ठीक ना होने की वजह से तब से वो अभी तक काम पर ही है। वो अभी तक मुझे मिले भी नहीं है। मेरी फैमिली सभी लोग नॉर्थ इंडिया चले गए। मुझे उनकी भी याद आ रही है और मुझे जो फैमिली मेरी चली गई है उनकी भी याद आ रही है।
मैं रोज न्यूज़ लगा के देखना कि धारावी में इतने केसेस बढ़ गए, न्यू की मौत हो गया, तो वो मैं थोड़ा और टेंशन में आती कि कहीं मेरे घर तक ना आ जाए वो चीज़ें, या मेरे घर से कोई बाहर ना चला जाए।
So, when mental health gets impacted, every aspect of your life takes a pain. You're constantly worried about what if I get it, what if someone I care about gets it.
Some of the very clear symptoms that you'll see is a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of distress in terms of how do you cope.
असं वाटायचं की एवढे हेल्पलेस झालोय काय, कुठे गेली आपली ती आतली शक्ती?
I was stressed. There were like spells of frustration because sometimes it was like, why do I have to do this and why isn't he or she supposed to do it? A lot of distress, a lot of mood swings.
तो पहले स्टार्टिंग में तो मैं बहुत डर रही थी कि मैं जॉब भी नहीं कर रही थी। मेरे पापा जो जॉब कर रहे हैं उससे उनका पहले से घर खर्च नहीं चल पा रहा था, अब तो जॉब भी बंद हो जाएगा तो मुझे भी जॉब करना है। तो मेरे को टेंशन आता था कि मैं कर क्या रही हूँ, मैं किधर हूँ।
अकेलापन महसूस होने लगा और खाना तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं खाने लगा। और वो सिचुएशन थी कि जहाँ पे लग रहा था कि अब मैं बस सुसाइड कर लूँ या फिर ऐसा कुछ करूँ कि मैं सबसे दूर हो जाऊँ, सभी से दूर हो जाऊँ।
I think to myself that do I need to talk to somebody? Do I need to just talk it out?
तो धीरे जब लोगों का सपोर्ट मिलने लगा लाइक स्नेहा हमें मेंटल हेल्थ पे सेशंस लेने लगे, थोड़ा बहुत वो हमें राशन के लिए हेल्प करने लगे, तो मेरा टेंशन कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा कम होने लगा।
और न्यूज़ कम किए देखने के लिए, ऐसी कुछ मूवीज देखेंगे जिसमें मुझे एन्जॉयमेंट मिळे।
एक महत्त्वाची गोष्ट म्हणजे आमच्या ऑर्गनायझेशन मुक्तांगणने काय केलं, त्यांनी 26ला ॲप आम्हाला इंट्रोड्यूस केला। एकमेकांना बोलणं म्हणजे कामाचं नाही, त्याच्यावर आपलं मजाक मस्ती जोक्स फन चालू झालं ना की सगळं विसरून जातं, एक आपल्याला पॉझिटिव्हिटी येते।
तो ये सारी फीलिंग को मैंने अपने एक डायरी में लिखना स्टार्ट किया। उसके देखकर मैंने सोचा कि मैं इस चीज़ में इतना ज़्यादा अंदर चला गया हूँ कि मुझे अब बाहर निकलने की ज़रूरत है। और फिर धीरे धीरे ऐसी चीज़ों से दूर होने लगा जो मुझे बार बार बताए कि इस टाइम पर कोरोना पैंडेमिक चालू है।
It's important to prioritize your self-care. It's important to prioritize your well-being. It's one of the most important thing is to remember, until you don't check in with people, you will not know for sure.
So check what they are already doing and encourage and motivate them to at least continue that. Acknowledge and validate that, it's okay to feel this way. Show them unconditional positive regard and tell them that they are worth it. This is temporary, but it still needs work.
मिनिस्ट्री की तरफ से, मंत्रालय की तरफ से, सरकार की तरफ से हमने एक हेल्पलाइन खोली है 08046110007। मैं सबसे यही गुजारिश करूँगी कि प्लीज़ कम फॉरवर्ड एंड टॉक अबाउट व्हाट यू आर फीलिंग। वी ऑल गो थ्रू दिस।
This is the General Overseas Service of All India Radio. We now bring you today's commentary. Prime Minister lays roadmap for defence manufacturing. It is scripted by Padam Singh, AIR news analyst, and read by Kaushik Rai. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a seminar on Atmanirbhar Bharat in defence manufacturing via video conference. The virtual seminar was jointly organized by Society of Indian Defence Manufacturers (SIDM), Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry (FICCI), and the Department of Defence Production (DPP), Ministry of Defence (MOD). Stressing on the need to become Atmanirbhar, self-reliant in defence manufacturing, the Prime Minister said, "Our aim is to boost defence production, develop new technology and give significant roles to private players in the defence sector." Complimenting Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and his entire team for working on a mission mode and taking relentless efforts, the Prime Minister said that the objective of achieving self-reliance in defence production will definitely gain momentum soon. Prime Minister Modi said, when India became independent, it had a great potential and ecosystem for defence production in India, but for decades no serious efforts were made. Mr. Modi remarked that the situation is now changing. Continuous and persistent efforts are being undertaken to bring about reforms in the defence sector. He enumerated several concrete steps undertaken in this direction, such as improvement in licensing processes, creating level playing field, simplification of export processes. The Prime Minister observed that a sense of confidence in the defence sector is essential for building a modern and self-reliant India. Decisions such as appointment of Chief of Defence Staff, which were pending for decades, have now been taken, which reflects the confidence of new India. Appointment of Chief of Defence Staff has resulted in better synergy and coordination among the three forces and has helped in scaling up of defence procurement. Similarly, he highlighted that opening of defence sector by permitting 74% foreign direct investment via automatic route reflects the confidence of new India. Prime Minister Modi said steps such as earmarking a part of the capital budget for domestic procurement, 101 items for domestic procurement will encourage and give a fillip to domestic defence industries. He also said that government is working on speeding up the procurement process, streamlining the system of testing, etc. Speaking about corporatization of ordnance factories, Prime Minister said once completed it will strengthen both the workers and the defence sector. Emphasizing on the need for technology upgradation for self-sufficiency in modern equipment, the Indian Prime Minister said that in addition to Defence Research and Development Organisation DRDO, government is encouraging research and innovation in the private sector and in academic institutions as well. The Prime Minister mentioned that emphasis is on co-production through joint ventures with foreign partners, highlighting that the government has been working on the mantra of reform, perform and transform. The Prime Minister said major reforms are underway in areas of intellectual property, taxation, insolvency and bankruptcy, space and atomic energy. On the infrastructure initiatives, Mr. Modi spoke about two defence corridors underway in Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. He said that state-of-the-art infrastructure has been built in collaboration with the state governments of Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. An investment target of rupees 20,000 crores in the next 5 years has been set for this. Prime Minister Modi observed that the IDEX initiative, which was launched to encourage entrepreneurs, particularly those associated with the micro, small and medium enterprises and startups, is also giving positive results. Through this platform, more than 50 startups have developed technology and products for military use, he noted. The Prime Minister said that the goal is to build a capable India to make the global economy more resilient, more stable, and to bring peace in the world. This is the idea behind Atmanirbharta, or self-reliance in defence manufacturing. India has the potential to become a reliable supplier of defence equipment to many of its friendly nations. It will strengthen India's strategic partnerships and strengthen India's role as a net security provider in the Indian Ocean region, Mr. Modi said. He said feedback and suggestions received on the defence production and export promotion policy draft will help in the implementing this policy at the earliest. Prime Minister observed that collective efforts will help in releasing our resolve to become self-reliant, to become an Atmanirbhar Bharat. That was today's commentary. Prime Minister lays roadmap for defence manufacturing. It was scripted by Padam Singh, AIR news analyst, and read by Kaushik Rai. This broadcast came to you from the General Overseas Service of All India Radio.
This broadcast came to you from the digital channel of the General Overseas Service of All India Radio.